Okay. What is your position on Second Amendment rights with respect to gun control?
You're looking at a Marine that is a expert rifleman, folks. Expert rifleman. And you know the line from the movie, but hey kid, you're going to shoot your eye out. You can't shoot that BB gun like that. Well, I'm left-handed, and I went to the rifle range. I tried to shoot from my left shoulder, and the DI said to me, "Johnson, you'll shoot your eye out. Put that rifle on the other shoulder." So I did, and I was fortunate enough to shoot expert, and I'm very proud of that. Very proud of that. I have two sons, one sitting here who deer hunts. He's got guns. Another son who's got guns. A couple of guns that were handed down to him by an uncle. Of course you have the right to keep guns in your home. You have the right to own a gun. But I want to tell you something. If the Democrats can force people to buy health insurance, fine them, threaten to put them in jail if they don't buy it, what do you think next would be the next big moneymaker for Democrats in Congress to tax your guns? Now, I'm getting a little head shake here because you're thinking about that. And let me tell you something. I would not put that past Nancy Pelosi for 1 minute to think, you know what? We can get billions and billions of dollars. We won't take your guns. But you know what? We can tax your guns. And if you try to hide the fact that you don't have any at all, we can come in your house and search for your guns. I'm telling you folks, just keep a very close eye on what's going on in Washington. All the more reason for you to say, we've got to get out and vote. We've got to get a Republican majority again. Always stand tall for the rights of any gun owner. Of course I would, and I know everyone else would as well. Thank you, folks.
Okay. Another question has been answered previously by another candidate. Where do you stand on the fair tax?
Let me be very fair about that, folks. If it came to the floor for a vote, I would certainly support that, because anything is better than the current situation that you find yourself in and I find myself in. We cannot continue down this road just of taxation. The health care bill that's now being discussed, and the Democrats are on the verge of passing, contains $1 trillion in new taxes. New taxes. Man's shaking his head in disbelief. New taxes. Can anybody just stand up and just simply take the stand and say, I'm going to be opposed to this? If Republicans would stand together, united. We've had opportunities in the past to do this, and sometimes Republicans go to Washington and act like Republicrats. Don't they? Yes, they do. And as a party, we can no longer do that. If we're fortunate enough to gain control, perhaps of the House, some even have said the Senate in November, we have got to remember why people put us there. Why you want to go out and vote for a conservative candidate, and you see the candidate go to Washington, and suddenly it's like flip-flop city. That's not the candidate I heard speak. That's not the man or woman that I heard talk about how they were going to try to change things. We absolutely must stick to our basic conservative principles, and that is accountability. Look out. Look out for that person in the 8th District that's working hard every day and seeing more and more of their paycheck go to higher taxes, more and more waste. We absolutely must put a stop to it, and it begins with you. You have to be active. You have to be the voter to do it. Thank you, folks. Thank you. First, I want to say to Suzanne, a wonderful job. Give her a hand, folks. She did it the right way. She held that timer. She was looking at that egg and saying, this is it right here. Congratulations on doing a wonderful job. And you put a wonderful program together. Folks, I mentioned to you that I served in the Marine Corps, and I'm very fortunate and proud to do that. And in my travels around the world, and a lot of time in Europe, and seeing a lot of things and meeting a lot of people, and my 35 years in broadcasting in Charlotte with a television station there, it was a wonderful opportunity for me to meet a lot of wonderful people. And in 1986, I had perhaps the best phone call of my life, other than my wife calling me just to say I love you. But it was a call from the White House, and they said to me, Harold, President Reagan's coming to Charlotte. Would you like to MC the event? And I said, I'm there, but only if I can meet him. And they said, sure, you can do that. Well, I got there, and I got the pin from Secret Service, and I was able to sit next to Ronald Reagan for 45 minutes on stage and talk to him just as you're talking to your friend sitting next to you. And that made such a great impact on me because he was such a wonderful man. He was a passionate man, but he stood for principle. He stood for what was right. And he did the right thing. And that's why whenever you think about him, you think of what a wonderful man he was. And I like to think I have some of the temperament. Of course, I'm not saying I'm like Ronald Reagan. Don't misunderstand me. But I'm saying his temperament was to reach across the aisle. He got bipartisan support to pass a big tax cut when he was in office. And Democrats love this man, and still do. And I think the candidate you have to pick, you have to remember this. It's not just a primary. You've got to pick a candidate that can get from third base to home and score the winning run. And as that candidate, I believe I can do that. I can beat Larry Kissel. And I would be honored and proud to be your representative in Washington. I'd be humbled. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, very much.